Hello YouTube, welcome to another tutorial. It has been a long time and I've been wanting to do some tutorials for a while, and this is going to be the first one. This is my automatic charcoal factory that I implemented on the Ward server. If you haven't seen those episodes, check them out. Now, you can make a charcoal factory really easy, and, that's great for single player, but on a server, you need more. So, I took the standard basic charcoal factory design, where you can accidentally clog the system by putting the wrong thing in the input chest. So, I added an item sorting cell to the input chest so that it won't take anything out except for the logs that you want to turn into charcoal. And I also added a kind of I'm not sure how to explain it, a priority system to it to make sure that the first thing filled with charcoal is the furnace to keep the system going. And this is what it turned into. The design itself is not important. You can really make it look however you want. In fact, that's the way I'm having the tutorial cell look. But actually, let me do that. And the thing that I've added here is multiple fail safes. Which I will show you in the tutorial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the parts together. We're going to come over here. I've got the basic starting layout set up already. We're going to come over here and I'm going to show you how to put this thing together. So I will see you in a second. Alright, here we go. As you can see, input chest, output chest, and ender chest or donations chest, whatever you choose to do. The only reason this is 3 wide is because the redstone won't hide behind it if it doesn't have this third chest, and it'll look off balance otherwise. So you can get rid of that spot, but it's not going to look right if it's a freestanding building. But first thing we're going to do is take the input chest and set up a sorting cell. Which is the, standard sorting cell, so that's not too important. If you don't know how to make a sorting cell, well, that's not what this tutorial is about. So go check out find a tutorial. I'm sure there are tons of tutorials. If somebody really wants one, I can make one too. But you can see right here, oh, there we go. The sorting cell is complete. Now, down below the column between the two input chests. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Oh, there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 down from the back section of the 2 input chests. You put the furnace with the hoppers going in. So any logs from the input chest will go into the sorting cell, get caught by the sorting cell, and then we'll go through the hoppers and into the furnace, as you can see here. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to put the item elevator over here, which is dropper, going up like this. There we go. This way. Okay. Dropper going straight up to just below the output chest, and hoppers going in like that. And then we're also going to go from the hopper here, or from into the side of the furnace with the hopper, up 1, over 1, and up 1 again. because we don't want the hopper pulling out of the output chest. Just in case somebody dumps something into the output chest that doesn't belong in the system or isn't a fuel, we don't want it going into the fuel side of the furnace, or the furnace will get clogged and that would be bad. So then we need the output of the furnace going into the item elevator, which as you can see it is right there. And we're going to take this charcoal and put it back into the furnace. So there, that is the basic system. This is not the important part. The important part is what's coming up next. After I go like this, and we're going to complete the item elevator real quick, which is block. This is important, or at least it is, I consider it to be important in all of my item elevator builds. Have a block next to the dropper and have the comparator on the other side of that block. Then have your repeater. I like to put the comparator in subtract mode just to prevent overflow, just in case. It's not really that important, but it can't hurt. And then all you need is your redstone torches to go up to the right height. And because I did that in the wrong order, there we go. And I'll just drop those. And the whole system is complete at this point. At this point, the charcoal factory works completely. Logs go in. As you can see, the logs are there. The logs are waiting. And the charcoal is actually, if you wait a second, there you go. The charcoal is counting up. So this is a complete system, and it has safety built into the input chest, which is fine, but on a server, you've got to add some extra precautions. Now it's time to get into the fail-safe part. What we need is we need to check and make sure that there is no overflow in the logs, because once this hopper starts to fill up, it could easily break the sorting cell, or it could end up holding too many logs and not actually putting them into the system. So what we've got to do is we have to detect, let's see here, we have to detect if there are too many logs on the input of the furnace and disable the, how did I do it over here? And disable the input into the sort, or the disable the hopper that pulls out of the input chest. That way, if the furnace is backlogged, we won't have to worry about accidentally overloading the sorting system. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it so that it has a little bit of distance, and you can change this a little bit. That seems to be a reasonable distance. Let me look over here. Yeah, that's about what I did. And that just, I think that's about 2 stacks worth of logs that will be backlogged into the input hopper for the furnace. And at that point, the redstone signal will reach the repeater and stop more logs from going into the system. And that's a great place to stop. But what if the output chest fills up with charcoal? What are you going to do then? You've got to have a way to stop the system altogether from making new charcoal, or you're going to have a problem there. So what I did was I put a comparator here that also detects if there's a backlog in the hopper that goes into the output chest. And this is a little tricky because I also want to check a third option under here, which I will explain in a second. And this top comparator, what I did is I'm going to put a block attached to it so that when this hopper starts to backlog, immediately, as soon as it starts to backlog, we want signal going down and stopping the wood from getting into the furnace, because once this hopper is full, the system is ready to overflow and it could easily clog the item elevator, and we don't want that because, you know, that clogs the system. So that's two of the fail safes. Too many logs, or too many logs, it stops taking more logs. Too much charcoal, it stops taking more logs and generating the charcoal. So this third fail-safe is also very important. This third fail-safe here. Now let me double check again. Okay, that's how I did it. This third fail-safe makes sure, or checks to see how much charcoal is available to go into the furnace to keep the furnace powered so that it's making more charcoal. And so what we've got here is we've got this comparator that through this block will detect the hopper underneath of the one that pushes into the output chest. And hoppers take priority down over sideways. So when stuff goes up the item elevator, it'll go from this hopper into that one, and before that one can push into the chest, the one under it will pull down and go into the furnace. Once that lower hopper right there is full, this comparator will say, oh, okay, there's stuff filling up and backing up, and it will send this redstone signal along this way, and I want this line long. As I said with these other ones, you can change the length of the lines, but it actually matters for the signal strength. And what we can have here is, if I go like this, we can go over here, put 2 blocks, and carry it along like that. And you'll see in a second, okay, so this signal should go all the way along here, and that will reach, and then we'll have a repeater here. So what this is doing is this is setting up for the locking system. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but the locking system is what keeps people from taking charcoal out of the system unless there are enough logs or enough charcoal in the system to keep it fueled and ready to go and keep it generating charcoal. So this triple failsafe, what we've got here is disable the entire system if there's an overflow from these two. This third one enables pulling items out. So as you can see, there's a block on top of that chest, which means nobody can pull charcoal out of the system. But once the backlog reaches to where the furnace has more than enough charcoal, the signal strength of this will get all the way around, and it will turn off this torch, which will allow this piston to retract, which will unlock that chest and let people pull stuff out. The reason for this repeater here is when there are plenty logs in the system. Let me see if there's still logs in the furnace. Let me grab some real quick. When there are more than enough logs in the system, let me show you. It will also unlock that chest because this repeater will power that line that turns off the torch. When there's more than enough charcoal in the system so that the charcoal chest is backlogged, then that will also, let me get some charcoal. That will also unlock the charcoal chest. Basically, it's just a triple failsafe that allows people to have charcoal when they've basically been generous enough to keep the system alive. You don't want, on a server, you don't want people using your system and not adding stuff back to it, or after a while you'll run out of the resources needed to keep the system alive, and then you know, people tend to complain when things aren't working right, even if they're the ones that did it, by taking everything and not restoring stuff. But as you can see, once this starts to back up, it also unlocks that, because now this line here sends the signal, or not, yeah, this line here sends the signal that way, and this line here is also sending the signal. So it's a triple fail-safe. It's definitely, I think it's probably not the most efficient wiring possible, but it took me a long time to come up with this design. I did figure it out all on my own. It's definitely not the most advanced design, but that's it. I mean, I don't think there's anything else to it. One other thing you can do that I like to do, it's completely unnecessary, is if you put a block on top of that torch and a block here with another torch, you can come over here and you can put a redstone lamp right there, 2 redstone dust, and basically what that does is when this chest is unlocked and taking input, the redstone lamp turns on. So let's get over to this here. When the system has enough resources, actually this one should be turned off because I don't think it, no, it's got enough. Let's see, where's it? There's a little backlog of, yeah, I remember I filled that chest. But so basically when there's enough wood in the input, that light will turn on. When there's enough charcoal in the system, the light will turn on because the charcoal chest will be unlocked. But anyway, that's the whole system. That's really it. The design portion, you can do whatever you want with it. Enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if there are any ways I can improve the design. And I'll see what I can do about a world download. Somebody please remind me. I will forget. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. Have a great day.